Welcome to another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. What I have tonight, a AA556R-EX Archangel AR-15 style stock for my 1022 action. This action came out of my folding stock 1022. I'd actually purchased another folding stock for it, so I had two. I sold one on eBay. I don't know why people are going nuts over those things. It's about $100 what I paid for it, and I sold it for $315, which was crazy to me. So I may sell the other folding stock I have. I may just hang on to it. I'm not sure. But for now, what I'm going to do is install this Archangel stock on that barreled action. Now, you're supposed to drift out the front and the rear sights to make it work. I'm going to try to leave the front sight on, or I'm going to have to at least take off my muzzle device, drift the front sight out, put the muzzle device back on, I think, because it may interfere with that. Rear sight has to come out. This one I don't really mind if I take the sights out anyway, because the rear sight's way off. It's like drifted out further one side than the other side, so no big deal on that. This action, for some reason, the trigger assembly and everything in this one is real loose. The pins are sloppy in it. All the other ones I have are tighter. For some reason, this one's really sloppy. I'm going to see how this whole build goes. The nice thing is I already have an extended magazine release in that, and an auto bolt release. That one I've not done anything with the trigger. Eventually I will get an M-Carbo kit for it, but for now I'm going to put it together with the parts I have, and if it shoots good and I like it, maybe I'll update it later with a 16-inch heavy-duty barrel with a threaded end on it, so I can put some type of a muzzle device on it. But for now, this will work out fine. This will probably only be a 50 or 75, maybe a 100-yard target rifle anyway, more for fun than anything else. I'll probably stick a really cheap holographic red sight on it, and we'll see how that goes. So stick around. So I'm at the point where you have to put this top rail section on, and the problem I'm having, this area right here, which is supposed to grip the top of the receiver, and this area right in here are too narrow. So what the instructions tell you to do, if you're having trouble mounting the top rail to your receiver, you may need to heat it with a hairdryer or heat gun till it is very warm to the touch. Once warmed, press onto receiver. You may also gently tap it into position with a rubber mallet. So I've read that this is a pretty difficult piece to install. I'm going to try to do it without heating it up. I think I can get it on just by finessing it with my hands. My hands are pretty strong. Try to get it on the receiver. So that's what you saw me struggling with a little bit. So far, overall, I'm really impressed with this. All the sling swivel mounts actually have metal inserts into the frame. The rails look pretty good. It feels like a really high quality polymer. Ruger makes the SR22 rifle, which is kind of their tactical AR-15 version. I shot one of those with a buddy of mine a couple of days ago. Really impressed with it. So now that I've shot that, I want to see how this compares. Now the nice thing is, if after you put this thing together you want to change the barrel, you don't have to take this whole lower assembly off again. You can still get to the V-band or the V-clamp just by taking off this front rail section. The other thing I noticed, I did not have to take my front sight off of this thing to get it together. So whether or not I need to, I mean, I think they look kind of dorky without the front sight. Might look dorkier with the front sight because it still has this band on there, but I will put my muzzle device back on, so if it looks dorky, whatever, it is what it is. I may get a better barrel later on, but I just want to see how it goes. So far though, grip feels really nice. I don't think it's padded or squishy, but it's got a really nice ergonomic feel to it. Has storage in the bottom of it, which I like, so I can put a bore snake in there or something. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that top piece back on. I'll come back in a few minutes. Alright, so it took me a little while to get it done, but I was able to get the entire assembly together. So let me talk about the two things that annoyed me about it. One, there's a parting line here. After the entire thing is together, there's still a little bit of a gap there. And again, I realized I have to leave a little bit of a tolerance opening to be able to make this thing functional. Hardest thing I had to do was to get the 4 little screws down into the action on the top of the receiver. Now, I like the fact that the rail actually attaches into the receiver. It means that your optic is going to be very tight in there. But those were hard to get lined up. You saw me, I had to put the 2 screws in the front here to suck the entire action, or the front rail section back enough to get those 4 screws lined up. Then I had to put the back screw in, suck it down, so I could actually get that in. And I know they say don't tighten everything up until you have all the screws in. Well, in my case, again, because I didn't heat this whole thing up with a hairdryer, I had to kind of suck it backwards first, suck it down so that I could get the top screws in, get everything in. But now that everything's done, I like it. The only other thing that I thought was a little bit weird, this front barrel bushing, when I put it in, it actually had to pull the barrel down a little bit to get it in place, and I don't like putting any tension on the barrel. However, theoretically it should be all right, because it's just probably, again, because everything's a little bit tight still. So what I'm hoping is I put hundreds of rounds through this thing, this is going to warm up and actually expand enough that it relaxes and it's easier to get together next time. But overall, I love the look of this thing. I mean, it's very nice. So I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'm going to throw a red dot on it, either a cheap holographic one, or I actually have a, what is it, a center point or something like that, red and green dot that I have on my takedown right now that I may stick on this. But overall, I'm very happy with it. The rear adjustable section is actually very tight, so you can't just like slap it back and forth like a loose AR-15. It actually has enough tension on it that you can keep it in whatever place you want. These quick release mounts are actually steel, so there's a steel insert embedded, the 2 parts of the stock here, and then there's one on the bottom of the barrel right here. So that's going to be really nice for putting one of my slings on. Has a rubber butt pad. It's a little bit hard, but I don't really care. It's a 22. And again, it has the storage in the bottom of the handle here, so I can put a bore snake in there. Overall, I'm very happy with it. It's not like some of the other ones that has all the cheesy fire selector in the side to make it look like an AR-15. It does kind of have like a forward assist type looking thing here, and a magazine release on the side, which are obviously fake. But everything else works fine. It still has my Timber Creek magazine extension on there, or extended mag release. And this one doesn't even have a trigger in it or anything, but the nice thing is, now that I put this action into the Archangel stock, there's no slop in anything. It's very, very tight. It's very secure. Like I said, hopefully if I have to take this thing apart to clean it or to do any other modifications in here, put a better trigger in here, hopefully it'll be easy enough to come apart once I heat it up and melt this enough that it relaxes on there. But overall, I spent $114, I think, for this thing shipped. It came in less than a week, or just over a week, I think. But overall, very happy with it. I always kind of thought the Archangel stuff was crap, but now that I see it, it's definitely come a long way. So I wouldn't hesitate to buy it again if I had, another one that I wanted to put together. And you ask yourself, why would you do this instead of a Smith & Wesson AR-1522? Well, the main reason is because you can build this for, you could probably find a used gun for about 125 to 150 bucks and another 120 bucks in the stock. So for about 250, which is about 100 to 150 dollars less than you can buy a 1522 for, you can build one that looks just like it. And the nice thing is it's a 1022, so all your 1022 accessories will still work. Your magazines, your extended mag release, your trigger groups, everything will work. So if you had one that you put a few bucks into, even if you just put like an M-Carbo trigger kit for 12 bucks and a little bit of work, you polished your own trigger, and you had all that stuff already set aside, you can buy this and basically turn it into a 22 caliber AR-15 style rifle. Very impressed with it. So next time I go out to the range, I'm definitely going to bring this and you guys will see an update. Thanks for watching Cranky Gun Reviews. Have a great day. God bless America. And this is, thanks again. Have a great night.